Good morning. God bless you all. Thank you for allowing me to share my story with you. So for much of my adult life, I felt alone, unwanted, and without purpose. Bad habits and poor choices left me physically and emotionally broken. Years of obesity and chronic diabetes were killing me. Frightened and desperate, I took the advice of my doctors to have what they considered a life-saving gastric bypass, a procedure that sent me spiraling out of control. I am told that only 2% of bariatric surgery patients have complications. I was one of the 2%, and soon became another statistic. Addicted to opiates to relieve the pain and suffering that had become my new normal. For 18 months, I was in the hospital more than I was home. The doctors prescribed stronger and stronger drugs, opiates. After a time, my doctor suspected I was becoming dependent on the pain medicine. I was too far gone, too ashamed to admit that I was completely dependent on these drugs. I remained addicted for 8 years. Drugs were my focus. Fearful that I might put a child in danger, I resigned from my job as a bus driver for these children. My elderly mom supported me as best she could, and I took care of her. Still unable to hold or get a job, I spent my days high and unproductive. Even after the pain had gone away, I still woke up every day chasing a pill. During these 8 years, my mother passed away, and I had 3 children. My children were so important to me, but I was still an addict. I realized I had a problem, but trying to be super mom, I turned to the only thing that kept me going, methamphetamines to give me energy. But they took me to a dark side of myself. In 2017, my life fell apart. My children were placed in 11 different foster homes. My son had a harder time with separation. He was declared high risk and enrolled in a children's psychiatric center. I did not see him for 5 months. They didn't know how to help him. I did. He needed me and his family. I fought through the drug-induced fog and began to advocate. On March 29th, I received notice that within the next 6 months, my rights to all 3 of my children would be terminated. I had to take action. On May 15th, 2018, there was a miracle. I found help from the Recovery Center of Houston. I entered into Santa Maria Hostel. I surrendered my life to God. I went to church. I prayed to God for forgiveness. I stayed in treatment for 6.5 months, proving to myself, to CPS, and God that I could stay clean. It was at Santa Maria Hostel that I first learned about the Mission of Yahweh. I was reunited with my children. I was not using drugs, but I was still challenged by the deep wounds the drugs left on my body and my soul. That is when I came to the Mission of Yahweh. I knew immediately the Holy Spirit was here. I felt at peace. The staff embraced me and my children. All 3 of them continued to thrive in this loving, God-filled place. In November of 2020, I left the Mission of Yahweh. All 3 of my children are back in school, in a routine, and happy. Will my children and my fiance please join me on stage? Through the kindness and generosity of the mission supporters, my family is healing. Thank you, and thank God I realize now that I am loved and that I will never be alone again. Thank you.